As we approach the end of the year, pregnancy may not have happened for you. And you went into 2022 wanting this year to be the year that you got pregnant, but it's taking longer than you expected it to take or wanted it to take. Well, getting pregnant can be more difficult than we think. And 2023 can be your year now to get pregnant. And as we approach the new year, I want to cover some myths that you might be thinking are impacting your fertility so that you can start off 2023 on the right foot and make that the year that you conceive the pregnancy that you desire. Hi. My name is Dr. Marc Sklar, also known as the fertility expert, and I've been working with couples for over 19 years through my online coaching programs and right here at my clinic in San Diego. And fertility myths are something that I often have to discuss and debunk because we have all these preconceived notions or we've been told things that just are not true. So in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to be covering because I want to make 2023 the year that you get pregnant. Before I go into myth number one, I want to first start off this video by wishing all of you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year to all of you because I want this holiday season to be festive and happy and joyful for all of you. So hopefully you all have a wonderful end to 2020 and a wonderful start to 2023. But as we're getting into that, I do want to cover these myths that I want to debunk and I want you all to move past. So the first one is that if you are over 35 or older, that you believe your fertility is declining very, very fast with each passing second. It's just diminishing. And you believe this because that's what you've read. That's what you've been told. Someone sitting across the desk in a nice white coat has said to you that you are over 35, you're too old, it's going to be too difficult for you to get pregnant. It's not the case. It just is not the case. We have couples conceive, and the majority of couples that we work with actually are between the ages of 30 and 45. And we have couples conceive all the time in that age range, and it's possible for all of you. But it's going to be more difficult if you don't have the right support, if you don't have a plan that's specifically designed to you, and if you don't start to change right here. So first, I want to encourage all of you to change your mindset. If you're talking to people that are not supportive, if they're always saying to you that you're over 35, you just can't conceive, it's going to be really hard for you, then you start to believe those things. So I want you to start to create new affirmations for 2023 so that you can believe in your body, believe in your reproductive function, and believe that you can get pregnant because it is possible. Now, it might not be easy all the time. You might need more support. You might need to make a lot of changes, but it is possible. And I want you to know that what you've been hearing, what you've been reading needs to be turned off. And you need to start to tell yourself something different so that you can achieve that goal of yours of getting pregnant in 2023 if you're also over 35. Okay, myth number two. I've had multiple miscarriages and IVF is going to solve that problem for me. It's going to make sure that I just don't have another pregnancy loss and that I carried a full term. Well, that's not entirely true. It may be true if, first and foremost, you know the real cause, the real reason why you're having these losses. And two, it may be the case if IVF can actually be a solution for that. But often IVF is not a solution for that. So if you're going forward with IVF because you believe that this will help with that, I want to have you pause for just one moment. Do you know why you're having those losses? Have you done sufficient testing and investigation? Have you dug deeper to find out why you're having miscarriages? And has that been addressed or have you started to address it? If the answer is no to those questions, then I don't suggest you move forward with IVF. And I'm not saying IVF is not a solution for all of you. It very well might be. But if you don't know why, then you don't know if IVF can be that solution. If they're not going to address the root issue, then IVF is not a solution for you to help you prevent another loss on your next pregnancy. So I want you to reconsider that and make sure you get the support that you need to get the real answers to why, so that you can make the best decisions as to what is the appropriate next step for you to conceive the child that you want in 23. Before I go into myth number 3, I want to hear from all of you. So are you over 35 and you've been told that you just can't get pregnant naturally? I want to know. Comment below and let me know. Or have you had multiple miscarriages and have been told that the only solution for you is IVF? I want to hear from you as well. Comment below and let me know. Now moving on to myth number 3. Your partner or husband has a child from a previous relationship, previous marriage, and so you guys automatically assume that everything's fine for him, and that burden of any issues is falling on you as the female in this relationship. That is just not true. And I have seen this repeatedly over and over just not be true. Okay, just because someone has been able to father children in the past doesn't mean that their sperm aren't compromised now. Sperm are sensitive and volatile and play an important role here. And there's a lot of influences that can impact somebody now over these years that may just not have impacted the sperm before. So if they have not been tested, if they have not had a semen analysis, if you have not ruled this out to definitively be normal through a lab, then I want to encourage you to make sure you cross that off your list. Make sure you check that checkbox so that you know everything is fine there. And if not, if you run those labs and things aren't fine, then make sure you address those issues, because it does take the sperm and the egg to address all fertility related issues. And we want to make sure that you are doing that soundly. Myth number 4. I've gone to my OBGYN and REI. They told me that all my labs are totally fine, and so I've been diagnosed with unexplained infertility. That's more like a statement versus a myth, but I'm gonna bring it around right now. First and foremost, everything in life is about perspective. What side of the coin are you standing on? What do you see versus somebody else? What does your education and knowledge tell you? Because that perspective is going to be different than somebody else's. Someone who has experience analyzing lab work in a different way and as analyzing a broader breadth of labs is going to potentially have a different perspective. So first and foremost on this myth is, I just don't believe in unexplained infertility. I believe that there is a cause for everything. And if you don't know why, and you've been told it's unexplained, to me, I believe that we haven't looked in the right places, analyzed our lab work in the right way, done enough labs, asked the right questions to get those answers. Okay, so just because all the labs that were run by your OBGYN or fertility doctor were run doesn't mean that is all the labs that can be done. And just because they looked at it and said everything's normal doesn't mean that someone else might not look at it, like me, and say that everything looks normal or not. So those are the different perspectives that need to be taken, right? Someone who looks at labs from a functional perspective is going to have a different take on someone who looks at it from a conventional perspective. And that is important. All right, and asking the right questions to get to the root problem. We need to ask those questions so that we understand what the real reason is for this. So no, I don't believe there's unexplained infertility. I believe we all deserve answers, and I believe once we find those answers for you, then the right plan can be created and you can get the results that you deserve. So what are you going to do if you've been diagnosed with unexplained infertility? Are you going to search for more answers? Are you going to start to work with someone who has a different perspective on your situation? You deserve that. And I want that to be your reality in 2023. Myth number 5. I've been diagnosed with endometriosis or PCOS, so my only option to get pregnant is IVF. Now, again, I have said this over and over the years that I have nothing against IVF. 50% of the couples that we support in my Hope Fertility Coaching Program are going through IVF, and I think it's a wonderful option for them. And we're here to support you wherever you are at, to meet you where you're at and get you the results that you deserve, regardless of the method. But I do believe that many of you move towards IVF prematurely and potentially unnecessarily. And I think that is the case with women who have PCOS and endometriosis. I believe that these things can be addressed more constitutionally at the root level, that you can address them naturally, and as a result of that, with the right time and plan, that you can get pregnant as well. So if you're gonna go to IVF, that's fine, but have you addressed the root issues of these conditions first and foremost to give you a fair chance to get pregnant naturally? And if not, then IVF is a solution for you. So my request for all of you with endometriosis and PCOS as we approach 2023 is, how about we get to the root issue? How about you start to have a plan that's customized to you to get you the results that you deserve to correct some of those root issues? And then how about we give you a little bit of opportunity to try naturally to see if it can work? And then if not, IVF is still always an option for you after that. But you'll have a better chance with IVF if you do those things first. So that's what I want to see for you in 2023. I want to give you a chance. I want to see an opportunity that is real before you make other decisions. I've got 2 other myths that I want to cover, but before I do that, I want to let you all know that these are things that we support in our Hope Fertility Coaching Program. These are the sorts of conditions in couples that we see on a daily basis and see results with. And I want to see those results for you. So if you've been trying for too long, if you just need proper guidance, if you want someone to get to the root cause of your condition, support you with a customized plan for your needs to help you get the results that you deserve, whichever way you want to get pregnant, then I want to invite you to apply for my Hope Fertility Coaching Program. And you can use the link in the description below to do that. So now let's get into myth number 6. This one is about menstruation. I have a regular menstruation, so as such, I must be ovulating. Now, I want to say that for the most part, I do believe that that is true. But as a woman ages, that becomes less true. So just because you're having a regular menstruation doesn't necessarily mean that you are ovulating regularly each month as well. Again, the younger you are, I do believe that is the case, but the older you are, I do find that that starts to shift. So I don't want you to take that for granted, that just because you're having a regular menstruation, and I've put many videos out about what a regular menstrual cycle should look like, so you can check those out later, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're also having a regular ovulation. And so I want to encourage you to confirm that through maybe an OPK or one of those wonderful trackers that we recommend to track estrogen, LH, and progesterone. We'll leave some of those links for those trackers down in the description below. Most importantly, I want you to confirm that you're ovulating. You can do that through symptoms as well, right? That you see a change in your cervical mucus, change in maybe breast tenderness or the desire to have intercourse. These are all signs and symptoms that also can indicate that you're ovulating. But it's nice to also get that with a hormonal shift where you see that LH surge and give you that positive ovulation. Myth number 7. I have low AMH, so my only option is donor egg. Now, I have nothing against donor egg. And I have had many couples use donor successfully, and I am thrilled when that works out. But again, I want to make sure that you get the proper attention you need. That just because you've been told you have low AMH doesn't necessarily mean that you need donor egg now. First and foremost, that option for donor egg will always be there. It can be there in 6 months or a year or beyond, depending on your age. And the chances of success with a donor are relatively the same because of the age of that egg and embryo when it's created. So don't rush into donor just because you've been told you have low AMH. I want to make sure first and foremost it's the right decision for you. And 2, can you do something about AMH? I've put out tons of videos recently and in the past all about what I feel about AMH, what I think is what you're capable of achieving with AMH, which is a pregnancy. Okay, and what you can do about it. So you can check out those videos with the links below. Watch some of my previous weeks on this topic as well. But I want you to take a step back. Let's find out what these root issues are. Let's support that AMH. Again, we don't need you to have 10 or 20 eggs and embryos. We need you to have one good quality egg and embryo to have a chance at having a successful pregnancy. So just because that number is low doesn't mean it's not possible. And we have seen repeatedly numbers under 0.5 or 0.2 or 0.02 get pregnant naturally. So I know that it's possible. I know what you all can create. You have to believe in yourself and get the proper support to achieve that pregnancy. All right, well, did you like this video? If so, comment below and let me know. Leave your questions about your fertility as well there, because I want to answer them for you. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, hit that bell to subscribe and get notified. And until the next video, stay fertile.